After reviewing the evidence, find me just one sentence in that 20-minute video that isn't a lie. One claim of fact that holds up. It's difficult. Explain to me why Rev didn't mention the source of his claim that the artist had cancer, a YouTuber whose main grift involves showing tweets and decided not to show that one. Explain to me why a 15-year-old took one look at the supposed docs for which he was blamed for and noticed the timestamp on the image, but somehow Rev missed it. Also, one more tweet he conveniently decided to not show explained how knowingly spreading provably and objectively false claims about the 15-year-old having ruined an artist's life. A 15-year-old freshly harassed off Twitter with an active post on Suicide Watch message board. Explain to me why that shouldn't be considered an actual crime, an actual literal fucking crime. Without further ado, the real story behind DulcisDolly and the artist Homunculus100.
We're going to be focusing on this artist named Homunculus, who was quite literally ran off of the internet yesterday after a viral post slandered them. Now, this will be very relevant for the video. This artist is a cancer patient, and as a result of their illness, they have had one of their legs amputated. This is something that is reflected in their artwork. They feature many different disabled characters in their arts. Now, what happened to this artist? Well, a miner on the internet, on Twitter, discovered their not safe for work art and decided to ruin this person's life with a call-out post that went viral that not only called out their drawings, the problematic drawings, it also falsely claimed that this artist was healthy and only amputated their leg to satisfy an amputation fetish, that this was all just for a fetish-related purpose. Yes. So as a result of this post going viral, thousands of Twitter users harassed this artist, and it led to them getting doxxed, where of course, this artist then deactivated all their related accounts.
Let me say this to start, that I unequivocally give zero fucks about what happened or didn't happen to this person's life. It's his life, and you do you, boo. No, at some point, my thoughts as to what might have happened will be evidently clear. And I do so very much wish that Rev had never vomited out the contents of that video, so that I wouldn't have had to deep dive into how exactly we know a person, for example, doesn't have cancer, when that person never even said that they did. But here we fucking go. The artist never said they had cancer, never mentioned it, not once, not ever. The artist had been adverse to explaining the leg and what happened to it, to say the least, which is, yeah, of course, their right to do. The first person to claim cancer is a Twitter user, Slice of7. The evening of July the 4th, that was about 12 hours after the kid's post. And every person to mention cancer in the kids thread or mention cancer about the artist and their leg was after the Slice of7 post. Every person to actually cite where they were getting the information from cited Slice of7. No other person has ever claimed that the artist said they had cancer, and there is no evidence of the artist stating this or hinting at it or anything ever. Moreover, the claim by Slice of7 is immediately provably false, which it states the artist had gotten cancer and lost the leg when they were young, which is quite the claim considering the number of people who have seen the artist as an adult with two legs, between IRL friends, people meeting them at conventions, photos of them, videos of them literally dancing as an adult, not a couple years ago, just from a couple years ago. Slice of7 claims to have gotten the information from a Telegram. They would also not post the Telegram or state the name of it or take a screenshot of what they had seen, even when asked to produce any evidence. Slice of7 would then be discussions with people who knew artists personally, asking about where he possibly heard this from. And this was indeed a surprise to those who knew him well. Some of these people are from the fandoms for which the artist had been very active in, Osamatsu and Full Metal Alchemist specifically. These are people who know artists' particular fixations with amputees, and they know for a fact the artist was, at least up to 2 years ago, not an amputee himself. I also note this little bit. Osomatsu is an anime with the most cursed fandom of all time. And yeah, I'm sure there are great people who, in the fandom, Osomatsu is an anime about a sextuplet set of brothers. I'm not sure how to say that. The fandom has attracted some troubled individuals in the past and has had a few major terrible incidents. One of those being Todokara's was heavily involved in that fandom. She had long posted not just extreme ships, but would often joke about having sex with animals. And after several individuals were ostracized from that community, after they would make call-out threads expressing both concern and disgust with Toto's public statements. Call-out threads that our artist was implicated in to some extent as a friend and defender of Toto, and unfortunately, as it turned out, those concerns were well warranted, and the pro-ship mob for the 1 millionth time found incorrect that people's art reflects their fantasies and people's fantasies affect decisions in their life. No shit, right? There was a video which featured a dog, a real dog, and real bad things happening to that dog. There were police notified and involved to some extent. Toto has largely not been heard from after that. And the blowback from just the artist's friendship and previously having been a defender of Toto, right or wrong, was enough to cause the artist to switch pen names as well as fandoms. The kid and his friend Oli were also in the Osomatsu fandom. Not, of course, at the time of Toto's situation, given the kids' ages, but still is a story in those circles that is told. And blogs still exist detailing some of what I had mentioned, which is how they knew about the artist, whose Matsu ships were also, by the way, uniquely deranged. The artist Osomatsu ships often included a fixation on amputation. So the next fandom they would go to, Full Metal Alchemist, made some sense, as one of the main characters in that anime was an amputee. Though artists often ship them as full-on quadriplegic, and of course often having intercourse with their brother. And the type of art I can't very well show here. That's the artist the kid was seeing on his timeline, with no 18 plus tag on their name, shipping art full of wholesomeness and positivity. The fact the artist was showing up in the kid's timeline is confirmed as we look at the replies to their thread. Several mutuals surprised to learn that the artist shipped such themes, and several expressed remiss that they had originally liked the tweet. The pro-ship idiots like REV repeat things like, well, he should have just DM'd his friend if he wanted to tell them about the artist. It is, in fact, everyone who was sharing that artist around, sharing, liking, retweeting the artist. It is their right to know that the artist for whom they were supporting and sharing with their mutuals, shipped, incest, extreme age gap, non-con, dub-con, and disabled people being taken advantage of. Those are just like their main go-to motifs, which is fine. Which is fine. I'm not judging. I'm just stating facts. Pro ships try not to get triggered by facts challenge. Everyone who was sharing the artist around, not just the kids' friends, but everyone, had a right to know what type of art that the artist does, especially as it was so much different than the current art they were representing themselves with. The kids' post was a welcome public service. They had every fucking right to make a tweet on fucking Twitter stating facts, mostly facts. Could have done without the leg thing, sure. Over the previous 2 years, artist timeline, some would say told a graphic story, and some consider that graphic story to be autobiographical. And at some point in 2021, the art seems to shift from disabled pet kink fetish to romanticizing limb removal. And for those paying attention, and many in the previous fandoms were paying attention. The artistships and comments seemed to more and more fixate on the idea of limb amputation. Many longtime followers of and fans of the artist consider them to have had VID. It's a rare disorder where one desires the amputation of a healthy limb. And then I could only look back at some of the artist's tweets and wonder if they got much pushback when they were hinting at self-harm of limb removal. I suspect they didn't. I can only wonder if any of the people who enjoyed their art inquired if artist was involved with professional help to talk about such things. I hope that they did, but I suspect they didn't. And when I read the messages like, "I'm sad the artist is gone, not many out there to help cope with VID," I think of people like that. Just people like that. And I don't mind so much Homie is off of Twitter, because his timeline was a map to some supposed happiness at the cost of succumbing to one's worst inner demon. After a long time of thinking about it, it's my conclusion. Slice of 7 was contacted by many people and would post an update just 5 hours later, apologizing for having spread misinformation. So the artist never said they had cancer. The original person to start the rumor, unable to produce an ounce of evidence or explain away those details that entirely falsified the claim. Well, only hours after originally making the claim would recant it. And the only post claiming cancer came after Slice of 7's original post. And of those that bothered to mention a source of that information, all of them linked to Slice of 7. Though in more recent threads, I've seen REV's stupid video being posted as a source of that he had cancer. But REV never bothers to state where he got that information. Something he would definitely have had done. Showing a tweet stating the artist lost their leg when they were young from cancer. That would be too good to pass up. REV 100% saw the Slice of 7 tweet and 100% saw them recant the claim and decided not to show their tweets because of it, obviously. Which is why REV doesn't state any source or show any source. He just blurts it out as if it's common knowledge or it's just divined fucking information. And while we're here, you may have noticed that docs info was also posted by Slice of 7. And you may have also noticed that the docs was posted 5 days before the Slice of 7 post, as evident by the timestamp on the screenshot. And because Slice's post is on July 5th and the kid's post is on July 4th, so then the docs would have been posted on or before June 30th. The docs predates the kid's post. The docs had nothing to do with the kid's post.
This is the perpetrator in today's story, a 15-year-old they/its. Calling yourself its at 15 years old. Please keep your minors off of the internet. But anyways, this is the person who made the post. Normally when it comes to covering minors in videos, I'm very hesitant, even when they're the bad actors. But it gets to a point when you literally ruin someone's life for clout on Twitter. I don't care if you're a child. Like, that is not a get out of jail free card. You are quite literally ruining people's lives with your actions, and they need to be held accountable. And second off, this account has since deactivated, so you can't reach them anyways. But nonetheless, let's move forward. This is the exact situation we're dealing with today. Another unwanted opinion from a minor on the internet, except this one quite literally ruined someone's life. But this is the post in question. So they included this artwork from Homie, and of course it is featuring disabled characters, and he said, drew some guys who use mobility devices like me. And we'll see a picture of the artist later in the video, a real life photo of him, but for now, this is the artwork that they are calling out. So the user says, "Hi guys, just want to let you know that this dude has an amputation fetish and amputated his own healthy leg. He also drew incest not safe for work in non-con." So even if, we all know this is false, okay? There's no proof of anything, but even if this was true, imagine comparing getting a healthy leg amputated for fetish-related purposes, relating that to drawings that this person made. Seems completely ridiculous. I know for a fact that this whole thing about the icky drawings here was the main basis of this whole call out thread, but they added in this gruesome lie just to give it some sort of a punch to it, a legitimate reason to attack this artist.
In the previous 3 months before the activation, artist's Twitter account had gone from a steady 10,000 followers to spiking to 75,000. Notably, 28,000 of those were new followers gained in the last 30 days alone. And along with that jump in popularity, the artist had been purging tweets and probably art from their Twitter. Over 400 deleted tweets during the month, likely trying to make their Twitter more friendly as more people were seeing it. So the artist starts getting popular doing wholesome looking amputee art, not their usual thing. And for those that ended up on their page, the things that they were finding were not the things that they were expecting. And for those that didn't check his bio, well, many were sharing an artist that they would never have shared if they knew the type of art that they did. In previous images, you can see the artist having an 18+ tag clearly in their name. At this point, however, it's not. And this isn't just any 18+ account, not a normal 18+ account. It was art many find disturbing. Art that I find disturbing. The artist would be gaining followers right up to the time the account was suspended. Oh yeah, suspended. The account was suspended. As their tweets were going viral and more normies were looking through the timeline, some quite appalled at what they were finding. Certainly within hours after the account went down, many had noted that it was in fact suspended at that point, not simply deactivated. Also, here's some actual people responsible in part for that suspension, if anyone cares. This person isn't a Twitter freak, so REV sure as shit won't. The hard truth is that the artist in question is one of the most messed up artists you'll likely ever encounter. They are that for me, and likely also for many normies. He was attracting with his upbeat, positive vibes, amputation guy's artwork. I don't think just one person reported the account. I think quite a few probably did. But if we take a look at the timeline, comparing the kids thread to the timeline of the artist thread, that we can get to the jaw dropper. At the morning of July 4th, the artist's viral thread had a steady stream of replies all morning. The kid sees the artist on their timeline and makes his post at 9:30 a.m. Replies to the artist thread end entirely at 10:29 a.m. and a post at 10:46 a.m. states that the artist had deactivated, though an image posted 15 minutes later actually shows the account was labeled does not exist, which can also be a permanent suspension. Can read that way. So at the time the artist account went down, the timeline shows a total of 8 replies were made on the kids thread, a thread created only an hour earlier by a user with 200 followers. The majority of the 8 replies on the kids thread are mutuals, and up to that point, none of the posts, including the original, had even named the artist. There is 0 chance the artist knew about the kid or their post. The only actual popular tweet at the time was the artist's own wholesome looking tweet. Before the kid made his post, there were several actual quote retweets and actual replies to the artist's thread that would make the same claims.
A legitimate reason to attack this artist. And as you can see, 2,300 likes and 2 million views on this post. As you can imagine, the artist was greatly harassed. But this is where we're at. Reminder, this is a minor upset with not safe for work content. If you went to the artist page, of course it's down now, they had 18+ warnings everywhere, not just on their Twitter account, but their related links as well. They had 18+ warnings everywhere, not just on their Twitter account, but their related links as well. So this minor infiltrated an adult space and saw not safe for work art that this artist had produced, and then went on to Twitter to complain about it and slandered them in the process. Again, we are talking about a cancer patient who had his leg amputated as a result of this illness, and this weirdo goes onto Twitter with no evidence to claim that this was all done for a fetish related purpose and that this person was completely healthy. And all of these people gobbled it up. They all gobbled it up and then went and harassed this artist who, unsurprisingly, had to deactivate. Not just because of the harassment, but also because they were doxxed. Now, I'm not going to show proof of any of these posts. There are multiple posts across various...
To be clear, I think the kid made two distinct... A lot of people saying that the artist cut off their leg because of a fetish or something. For one, the kid clearly made two claims. They said that the artist does fetishizes amputees. That's an objectively true statement. That is not arguable. And the second claim, I think there's an entirely different claim, but the artist cut off their own healthy leg. I think we should read the kid's tweet as two different claims. Rev would have his audience believe that a kid just made this up from nothing. That this kid fabricated this lie about a random amputee, a cancer survivor, for clout. Just made it up for fucking clout. What a sick fuck you have to be. What a sick fuck you have to be to make this story out to be that this kid just made this up out of nowhere. As if the people, you could tell people who like watch the Rev video that they think that this just came out of the kid just he grabbed it out of like thin air. He grabbed it. It was just like it's entirely fabricated. Like,
this behavior is so normalized, slandering people, trying to ruin their lives. It doesn't connect. They don't connect. They don't realize there's a person on the other end of that screen, and there's real consequences when you accuse people of terrible things. It happens to me all the time. People don't realize it has an effect. When you call people certain things or you say they committed heinous acts, people might act on that accusation. So when you make these posts for clout because you don't like icky drawings and you add in these horrible accusations, it's not surprising that someone's going to get hurt. And in this case, they don't even take that seriously. Even after everything bad that's happened, it's just a joke to them. And it's frustrating. I'm frustrated just watching this. And I know a lot of other people are too. But the lack of self-awareness is mind-boggling. This was after that tweet. They had a series of tweets themselves and they retweeted other people. This was retweeted by the original poster. And let me just read this, okay? Remember the context we're in. The artist just deactivated, life ruined. They retweeted this saying, "My biggest fear online is that I'll accidentally say something and people will take it the wrong way and I'll get threats and harassed about it because people don't take 2 seconds to educate on problems. They just jump straight to harassing people." It's like looking in the mirror. This is literally addressing you. And they retweeted it thinking it's a defense for them getting criticism for slandering this artist. It's mind-boggling that they don't see that this tweet is literally about you. It's about this kid slandering the artist. It's word for word, bar for bar, all about you. It's crazy. By the way, let me just make this clear. Even after the artist was doxxed, people continue to defend the kid who slandered them and basically said, please don't criticize this kid. Oh, how could this happen? But let me read this thread real quick. It says, "There's no effing way that people are seriously sending death threats to a 15-year-old only because they wanted to tell their friends about a weird person." That's crazy to me. And this idea that this 15-year-old only wanted to tell their friends about a weird person. No, they slandered them with lies that got that artist hurt. Their reputation hurt. Their physical safety put in jeopardy because they were doxxed. And no, this right here, had their leg amputated, how can you prove that they had it for this purpose that you're claiming? And the thread, the person who wrote that thread we just read, said that he did, and his tweets heavily imply that he did this of his own will. This is proof that this artist amputated his leg for fetish-related purposes and not for his health. This is their proof that he has an amputated leg. So basically, if he has an amputated leg, you can make any sort of a jump or accusation based on that. and the mere fact that his leg is amputated is proof enough for whatever claims are attached.
Rev chose the harshest of language to describe falsely the supposed transgressions of a teenager that he knew wasn't true. Suicide watch began. He spreads his hate and anger as he nearly reads over the fact the kid had already received death threats, only slowing down to infer that the kid actually deserved them. Rev himself is a hate-filled predator who streams and creates videos filled with lies in order to achieve an agenda of dogpiling those who in his deranged, fucked up, sociopathic mind deserve punishment for their transgressions. Lastly, I was only going to share about half this stuff about the artist, that I ended up sharing about 75% of stuff about the artist. That basically, the closer I got to the truth, and the more I saw the kid being blamed everywhere for them having left Twitter, I got more and more upset. The artist never corrected the record. You Google the artist's name, you end up reading about how they were bullied by a 15-year-old DulcisDolly. Like, wherever you look, wherever it is. Like, it's on a fucking wiki, for Christ's sake. Basically, fuck the artist. Let a kid take the fall for you getting your account suspended by not having an 18+ tag in your name. Go fuck yourself.
mais c'est la vie. Il m'a pas connu, je n'ai pas cru. Hier je rêvais qu'il m'a touché. Avant hier, il a dansé avec moi. En mes rêves, Oh, mais